Hurricane season may be in full swing, yet more than half of the people living in hurricane-vulnerable states say they don't feel threatened by a hurricane or related tornado or flooding. Although Florida is no stranger to storms, the majority of the population here says they have taken no steps in making their homes stronger since the last hurricane. Representatives with Florida Power and Light say this should not be the case. Everyone needs to be prepared.
So Florida Power and Light, we prepare every single day. Every day there's not a hurricane, we're preparing for one. And I think it's important that everyone else is prepared as well. And there's a lot of good check sheets on our website, www.fpl.com, that they can go look at and start getting ready.
Florida Power and Light is the main electricity provider for most of the Sunshine State. When a storm blows through the area, they are the first on the ground to restore power.
Those days prior to a hurricane hitting us, we're doing a lot of work. We're watching these hurricanes, so we have a meteorologist on site and he works with us each and every day, and we're watching the tropics, and we will making sure that we're as ready as possible to start restoring power safely and quickly.
When storms threaten to strike, FPL's command center in Riviera Beach is activated.
Well, this is a Category 5 rated command center. This is where the planning and the execution is happening as far as what decisions we're making. It's, if you will, the brain of our operations during a hurricane. It's a 24/7 operation, and it all happens from here.
After a storm passes, FPL surveys the damage and begins to implement a plan to restore electricity.
After the hurricane hits, the next really big question is people want to know is, well, when am I going to get my power back on? And there is a plan for restoration, and the plan for restoration focuses on making sure that everything involving public health, welfare, and safety is restored first. So that means those are things like hospitals, water plants, major police stations, things that are vital to all of us. And we work every single year with the communities to make sure that we understand where they're at and we restore those first. Then we restore feeders, and those are the main lines that bring power into our communities. And at that point, what happens is things like gas stations, the pharmacies, it's those major thoroughfares through your communities are restored. That helps everybody cope through the final days of restoration, and then we move into the neighborhoods. And at that point, we get every last one of our customers, and we don't stop working until every last person is back on.
Although there's a method in place, FPL says there are a few things residents can do to make the restoration process faster.
Well, I think one thing that's very important is access. Sometimes I think people need to be aware that there are, heavy equipment that comes in order to take care of these lines. So that means not blocking some of the streets, making sure that we can get our trucks in and out of there. That will really help restoration. As much as we prepare, as much work as we do on our infrastructure, if there is a hurricane, it impacts our system, there will be outages. So people need to be prepared for being without electricity and all that that means. One thing that's very important is that you stay away from anything that might look like a down power line. Many times it might not be a down power line, it might be a communication line, but stay far, far away from it. That's very important. Also, generator safety is very important. And what's important is that you cannot be operating a generator where the fumes can either go into your home or maybe get sucked into the home of a neighbor through a window, an open window. So you got to be careful that you're not putting a backfeed onto the electrical system. So make sure, read the instructions, but typically you want to put your appliances, make sure you hook them right directly to that generator and not roll it into your electrical panel.
Keeping Florida families powered this storm season may be a responsibility for both Comcast and FPL, but our main concern is safety for you and your family. For Comcast Newsmakers, I'm Spiro Canton.